all the worries that all parents have, but the last thing we would ever have thought of losing any of our kids was through an electrical accident.
G'day. How you going? G'day, mate. Yeah, good.
I'm Jim. It's my lovely wife, Rob.
We were married young.
We didn't muck around. We were married very
then
young. Yeah.
17 months later, Elena and Karen come along. So we were a happy little band of 5.
Karen was, she was probably my sidekick, I guess. Karen was always tagging along, so when I was a kid and I started racing BMX, then she jumped in and raced it. But I guess the point is, if I ever sort of needed a sidekick, we were going camping and going on an adventure or something, she'd always come along. Dry seasons in North Queensland, they're pretty big. Water restrictions, really tight for years on end. So if you had a bore, you could just splash the water around like nothing. If we ran the pump too long, it would silt up. It would get a bit clogged. Yeah, she must have been trying to, dunk it to flush it out. But at some stage, she's touched it. It had a hidden electrical fault in it. She couldn't let go of it.
Jim got a phone call and it was 12:30 and he woke me up and said, Karen's gone.
We knew roughly the circumstance. We knew it was she'd been electrocuted and it was a pump.
The poor thing, for all of the things that adventures she'd gone on and been through and survived and everything, she died alone in a backyard. I guess the reason why we're putting ourselves through this is we just don't want anybody else to have to do it. Look, if I was sitting on the couch and I read that somebody else had, unknowingly plugged an appliance in and it had taken them from their family, and it was because of, awareness and people didn't know. That's why we're doing this.
I did the examination on the bore pump. The design of the bore pump was flawed. She didn't know that the product was not designed to Australian standards, and the electrical wiring caused the outer metal casing of the pump to go live. In this instance, the outcome has been that a product that did not meet Australian standards, that has not been tested to Australian standards, was made available to sale with inferior and dangerous internal wiring. And as a result of this, the company director was fined, the company was fined, a criminal conviction was recorded against the company, and the product had to be recalled across Australia at enormous expense to the company.
Karen didn't buy the pump. It was purchased online from an Australian supplier. There's so many things that are being imported and they don't realise until something happens like this.
A process was put in place in Australia called the RCM, or the Regulatory Compliance Mark. Things have always got like a little build tag, part number, serial number, the RCM logo. That's what you're looking for.
There's got to be other things, not just pumps. I mean, you could be talking about, a toaster, a heater, anything.
Suppliers need to ensure that the product is being sourced from an importer or manufacturer that is registered as a responsible supplier, that the product is marked with the RCM mark to indicate that it is been sourced from a registered responsible supplier. For suppliers to register, it's not difficult or expensive. You go to the national website to register as a responsible supplier and give you the authority to use the regulatory compliance mark on your product to signify the product is electrically safe and has been tested.
Anyone who's going to be supplying electrical products in Australia, especially if they're importing them from overseas, to make sure that they meet Australian standards, they have the regulatory compliant mark, that they're registered as responsible suppliers, so that nobody else has to go through all this, because if it had been done in this instance, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It didn't have to happen, that's the thing. It was preventable. It shouldn't have happened.
Keren's story shows suppliers need to play their part in electrical safety.